out there. I am going to be talking about the police report against me, the complaint against me for criminal mischief, which is, for any of you who have been kind of following along, that's the incident involving the trike guy. And that's me, Sean J. Floyd. And right here it says something interesting. It says the undersigned officer, being duly sworn, states, upon information and belief, that on or about August 25th, 2024, in Swanvillan, Waldo County, Maine, Sean J. Floyd, having no reasonable ground to believe he had a right to do so, did intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly damage or destroy a motorcycle, a trike, property of Thomas A. Benner. And for some reason, this was not dated or sworn, but that's the guy who's the undersigned officer, being duly sworn, William Nichols of the Waldo County Sheriff's Department. And the arraignment was set for November 6th. This is on August 25th, so that's a few months afterwards. And here is the meat of the report. And sometimes you hear it said that something is all lies. Is usually an exaggeration, and it would be here to some degree. There are a few factual statements in here, but everybody lies, that's for sure. So, here is Deputy Nichols' statement. The following report concerns the charge to Sean Floyd of criminal mischief. It is a duplicate narrative to the charge of criminal threatening to Thomas Benner, as it covers the facts for both charges. Well, not really, but allegedly. 1. On 8/25/24 at 19:03 hours, which is what, 7:03, right? Thomas Benner reported that he had been at Swan Lake Grocery on his three-wheel, quote-unquote, trike motorcycle with his wife, Elizabeth Benner, on the back, when a man with a sign on a stick had used the stick to hit his motorcycle. I will refer to it as a trike. 2. I had just driven by Swan Lake Grocery at about 18:35 hours and had seen a man standing on the shoulder of the road holding an approximately 5-foot-tall stick that was yellow in color, appeared to have a camera on the top, and had a sign fastened to it that appeared to read, quote, "All cops are criminal cunts," unquote. The man was over 6 feet tall, somewhat heavy-set. Thanks. No, that's accurate enough, I suppose, although compared to the average American citizen, maybe not. Anyway. And wearing khaki shorts and a blue t-shirt. I recognized him as likely being Sean Floyd from booking images that I had viewed of Sean. Now that's a little weird. This guy's kind of new, as I understand it, over there at the Sheriff's Department. I've never interacted with him before. But he has, he never arrested me, nothing like that. But he's viewing booking images of me for some reason. But he had no reason to stop and talk with him, he says, so I continued on patrol. 3. As I drove to Thomas and Elizabeth's house at 950 Swan Lake Ave, which is near Swan Lake Grocery, I saw the same man who I'd seen earlier walking up Walters Road in Swanville. Sean lives on Walters Road. Okay, how do you... So this is a little creepy. He's viewing booking images of me. He knows where I live, and even though we've never interacted, he says never had to investigate me. In other words, this is like knowledge that he just has. Okay? But he continues, I met with Thomas and Elizabeth, and they told me the following. The man was standing there with an, quote, obscene sign, unquote. Thomas went up and he told the man, quote, you're a fucking idiot, unquote. The two then began yelling, quote, fuck you, unquote, back and forth at each other. Quote, we then started to take off and he hit the side of my bike with his fucking walking stick, unquote. Finished Thomas Benner. Thomas pointed out yellow paint scuff on the right side of the motorcycle. I noted that the scuff had also displaced dust on the trike paint, indicating that they had occurred more recently than when the trike was last washed. Some detective work there. Of sorts. 5. Thomas stated, quote, I backed up. Boy, I wanted to run him the fuck over. I was so goddamn mad, unquote. I asked whether there was any chance the man would say that Thomas came at him with a bike. Thomas replied, quote, no, I did, after, unquote. Elizabeth echoed, after? Okay. Number 6. I went to Swan Lake Grocery and asked if they had video. The person working at the front counter called for Janica Danforth, who I've also never met, who came out and met with me, continues Nichols. She told me that she watched the whole thing from the office. I asked if she saw him hit the motorcycle, and she said yes, with his stick. Quote, yes, with his stick. And then continues, this is a little hard to read there because it's right at the corner, but it looks like it says, with his stick thing. Continued, whatever her name was. I asked, continues Nichols, if they had seen the man on the motorcycle come at the man, darn it, with the stick, and she replied, not until after. So again, after. Seems everybody's saying that the guy on the trike, Thomas Benner, he'd come at me, but only after I attacked him out of the blue, apparently. All the witnesses seem to agree. She continued, quote, he was just going to pull out, and Sean got in his face and gave him the finger, unquote. I asked if she was referring to Sean Floyd, and she nodded yes. So there's another person who knows me, which I guess is somewhat to be expected given the way I carry on around here. But I have no idea who she is. 7. I asked if Janica had video, and she led me upstairs to an office. She reviewed the video and played it back for me. She did not know how to burn a copy, so I recorded it from her computer with my body camera and department phone. In the video, I could see a man who looked exactly the same as the man who I'd seen by the road earlier, and he had the same stick. I recognized the trike as the one that I had just seen and photographed in Thomas's driveway. Thomas's driveway. The trike could be seen stopping by Sean, and it looked as though Sean and Thomas were gesturing and raising their middle fingers at each other. It then appeared as though Thomas started to pull forward to leave, while Sean was standing to the right side of the bike. Sean can then be seen hitting the right side of the trike with his stick. Okay, so according to the deputy, what he sees in this video is that he sees us standing there, kind of arguing because he came up to me and then the guy on the trike starting to pull forward and leave while I'm just standing there, and then I just hit his trike while the guy's just trying to leave, according to what Deputy Nichols sees in the video. And then he continues. Thomas then backed up, swung the trike to the right toward Sean, and Sean jumped back. Thomas then pulled forward to the left and headed toward his house. So he saw this guy driving to endanger me here, backing up, turning towards me, driving to endanger me, engaging in what is clear reckless conduct, did Deputy Nichols. But he says all that happened only after I hit the trike with my stick. And Deputy Nichols continues, I went back to Thomas's house and obtained victim witness statements, which I still have not seen, because the DA won't share information with me, from him and Elizabeth, nor obviously the Sheriff's Department won't. Sorry for my, keep going on little tangents here. Bear with me, we're almost done. I told them that I would be issuing Sean a summons for criminal mischief. They wanted to know his court date, which I told him I was not at liberty to say. I told Thomas that it looked like after Sean hit his trike, he turned toward Sean. Thomas replied, quote, I did. I ain't gonna lie, unquote. I told Thomas that I would run that presumably by my supervisor, and that this may result in a charge on his end, because it looked like Sean had to jump out of his way. Right, yeah, I did. Which is a little bit more than, well, anyway, criminal threatening. It's driving to endanger me. It is reckless conduct. But in any event, he could have conceivably killed me, or at least run over my foot, injured me for sure. I had to jump out of the way. He aimed his strike at me. Anyway, okay. Deputy Nichols continued. I stated that Sean was not trespassed from Swan Lake Grocery. I later learned that this was incorrect, and he was trespassed from there. However, he had been on the sidewalk. Yeah, so not an issue. 9. I returned to the office, reviewed the statute, and decided that I would be charging Thomas with criminal threatening. Yeah, okay. Corporal Spencer and I went, I've never met Spencer, I don't think. Maybe I have. And I went, or if I have, it's only been briefly. I think he's new as well. A lot of turnover at the Sheriff's Department, apparently. And Deputy Nichols continues, and I went to Sean's house in an attempt to serve him with his summons and hear his side of the story. I could hear movement inside the house, but no one would answer the door. He showed up it was after 10 p.m. Shows up at my door, or, outside my house. They didn't pull into, it was him and some other deputy it looked like. I caught a glimpse of somebody else. But anyway, so they didn't, I live in a long private drive. They pulled in at the bottom of the drive and must have walked up, because they didn't pull into my driveway. I mean, they didn't pull up here. And so they must have walked up. In other words, they crept up to my house, 10 o'clock, on an evening after this guy knows I had been threatened, and actually knows that somebody had, basically endangered my life, and he expects me to answer the door immediately. Not to mention that the police have falsely arrested me. I've lost count how many times out here, so I have reason to fear him, even if it was police. So yeah, I didn't answer right away. And he left pretty quickly. Anyway, Belfast PD told me that Sean would likely be downtown within the next few days, and that they could serve him the summons. Officer Tribuzio served it to Sean on 8/27/24. And then she turned right around and also served me with the other charge I'm facing, disorderly conduct. or summoned me for it. And I was eventually charged. 10. Of note, Sean never made a report about the incident or submitted any type of victim statement. Really? Huh. As of 9/1/24, I have attempted to meet with Thomas to serve him, but he was not home. I will update this once he has been served. And this was sent out, or whatever, completed, Sunday, September 1st. So I never made a report about the incident or submitted any type of victim statement. Well, that's kind of funny, because here's a copy of an email that I sent. First, I tried to send it to Deputy Nichols directly, but I couldn't, because I guessed at his email address based on other county email addresses, and I guess I was wrong, because it didn't get through. But then I turned around the next day, which is August 31st, as you can see right there, and I sent this email to the chief deputy, a worm by the name of Curtis, Matthew Curtis, and the chief lieutenant, another worm by the name of Late. And it said this: I was recently served with a summons, Swanvillan. I have uploaded an unedited, unaltered audio-video recording, in other words, evidence. Here is a link to the publicly available evidence right here. Then I go on and I describe that, disorderly conduct I accuse him of, and then I accuse him of reckless conduct, driving to endanger. Yeah, so I never made any kind of, no, I submitted a written report with video evidence multiple times, and then when there was no response to this, I went there in person and I gave them a link to this written on a piece of paper and said, make sure Deputy Nichols gets this. Yeah. Never. And then I had to go on like a 4-month-long campaign. Anyway, that's other stories. That is the report, and as you can see, everybody lies in it. The alleged victim lies in it. And well, as you're about to see, in case you haven't yet, because I have the video here. Let me just get this. So here you see Benner getting on his trike and riding across the parking lot toward me, shouting insults, offensive language, accosting me with offensive language in a way that would make a lot of people want to fight him. And then he starts threatening me, and so I get a little closer to make sure I get a good shot of his face. That sometimes calms people down. Not him. What does he do? He backs up and comes at me. And now, you notice that he hasn't said anything about a stick as yet, right? He just said he's going to run me down. Came at me, threatened me, said he was going to run me down. Tried to do it, basically.
Sucker, get away from me, I'll run you. Get my fucking motorcycle, motherfucker!
You come at me! Come at me, man!
Wrong motherfucker to hit! I'm telling you right now!
Get the fuck!
Cunt.
You come at me,
Touch
bitch!
my bike again, you'll be on your back!
And then, after he threatened me and tried to run me down, he's yelling about the stick. So obviously, I didn't do anything with the stick until he came at me. So everybody in that police report is lying.
Understand me? And I don't give a fuck who you're recording. You stupid fucking cunthead. Cut that again and I will gut off this bike. I'm not gonna touch your fucking bike unless you come at me again, dude. Fucking don't come at me. Don't go, you cunt.
And the only reason I can imagine that they try to get away with that still is because they're just so used to just basically throwing people in jail and then coercing them into a plea deal. And the ACLU has taken that little trick away from them. So I'm going to win this case. Obviously, this is stupid. And, well, but it's stressful and it's going to take time, and I shouldn't have to deal with it. And it's all at your taxpayer expense, folks. So thank the Waldo County District Attorney's Office for their ongoing pattern of malicious prosecution. And thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Keep fighting. And peace.